Hi everyone, my name is Kayla. Welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf, where we talk about books. Today I'm going to go over my non-spoiler review for Stones of Light by Zack Argyle. Before we get into it though, I do just want to mention that this is book 2 in the Threadlight trilogy, so if you haven't read book 1, Voice of War, please be mindful that there may be spoilers for the first book in this trilogy. Let's go over the synopsis so we can get an overview of what we're looking at in this installment of the Threadlight trilogy. Chris swore to never again let the Apogee take control, but in a moment of despair he gave in. Now he will learn what the Apogee truly wants. In Alkea, Laurel will do anything to get her Threadlight back, even if it means working for the leader of the Blood Thieves. But she has no choice. A life without Threadlight is no life at all. To the west, Alvarax travels with the Zeta people to a large port city of Phalia, where they seek refuge after the fires in the Farinwild. But he shattered the core seal, and no one quite knows what the consequences will be. They only know it won't be good. Honestly, this was a masterful sequel. Everything just gets dialed up, and before we even get to the story in Stones of Light, we get a quick overview of what happened in Voice of War in a short chapter called The Story Until Now. This is something I wish more authors would do because it gives readers a chance to jump right into the next book without having to worry about reading the book prior to recap on some of those important details that they should know going into the new book or to the next installment of the book. Now, for myself, I don't typically read books in a series back to back, so this is actually really helpful, especially if there is even a year in between books, say 1 and 2. This would be a really helpful thing for more authors to do, just in my own opinion, as I easily forget many important details in the book beforehand. So I really appreciated that Zack Argyle included this in Stones of Light, giving us just a quick recap of Voice of War. The story picks up right where Voice of War left off, and we continue on with the 3 points of view that we saw from Voice of War, which was Chris, Laurel, and Alvarax. Now, the only thing that changed here from these perspectives is that who we see more of changes as the roles impact the story differently in this sequel. Zack Argyle managed to dial everything up in this, from character development to world building, the magic system. There's just so many things that felt like he went all in on, and it was just fantastic, all while keeping up with that efficient pace that he did with Voice of War. This is about 356 pages, and what he accomplishes in such a short page count is amazing to me. We keep about a medium to fast pace in this, and I honestly just kept wanting to turn those pages and find out what happened. Not only that, we get some thought-provoking moments in this that just added a layer of depth to the characters and felt like they were still realistic to the world around us, not just a fantasy world. Now, I just want to share some of these quotes with you guys because they were so impactful, and I just think you guys might enjoy them. Here are a few of my favorites. People focus so much on the physical pain of childbirth that they forget the mental burden is often worse and longer lasting. Mocking others' appearance is the lowest form of humor. If a man is cruel, speak of his cruelty. If a man is vain, speak of his vanity. Physicality plays no part in the morality of men. Truth is not dependent on your acceptance of it. We are 9 parts ignorant and 1 part enlightenment. But we grab hold to that little knowledge we have and pretend that it is greater than it is. The man who is ignorant of his own ignorance holds most tightly to his perception of the truth. With more depth to the world, the magic system, the lore, and more time with our characters here, this is a compelling sequel that left me wanting more. What shines through here is Zack's ability to create compelling relationships that work alongside the story's progression. Not to mention that we get some heartwarming and heartbreaking moments in this. Now, while there is action, I actually found the story and our characters far more compelling as the stakes get higher. I ended up reading this on ebook along with the audiobook, and this was narrated by Adam Gold, who did a fantastic job at bringing the various tones to the characters and giving them an individual feel from one another, all while bringing the story to life. The level of care and thought that went into this is evident, and the Threadlight trilogy has quickly become one of my favorite series thus far. I'm really excited to see what Zack does with the conclusion, Bonds of Chaos, which should be coming out sometime this summer. I ended up giving Stones of Light 5 out of 5 stars, and any weak areas that I had found in Voice of War absolutely strengthened in Stones of Light. There were not areas that I could critique. Maybe one, but even then, I was okay with that. I liked it. It worked for me. So that is my own personal experience of this. I really am enjoying this trilogy. Have you guys read this? If you haven't, is it something you're going to pick up? Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, take care of yourselves.